So if our listeners aren't yet using AutoML, why should they be considering it? And a related question is, can you please explain to us your no free lunch theorem?
Okay, so first, why should people use AutoML? I think because it's a tool that can be useful for anyone, like regardless of where they are in their data science career. It's useful to like somebody like myself. Like that's why I wrote it, because I wanted to have cleaner code. Like just I knew what I wanted to do. It was pretty much the same process every time. There's like variations on it. Which are now sort of bundled into the algorithm. But yeah, it just makes everything really cleaner, like more reproducible. You just get it, we generate what we call a leaderboard. So that's like an idea kind of from Kaggle, where you have everybody ranked. So in this case, we just rank all the models by whatever metrics you're interested in. And yeah, I think it's just kind of automating kind of not the hard parts, but almost like the boring parts of like, experimentation. I think people, when they're learning algorithms, that's a good thing to do, because you want to kind of investigate more, on a manual level. Like if I change this, like how does that affect? And you kind of build up this intuition over time. But for somebody who's kind of got their thing down packed about like how they approach a data science problem, it's just, less code basically. And then for people who are not as experienced, it can actually be like a learning tool, I think, because you have this easy function where you just run it and then you get to see the results and you're like, okay, this is interesting. Like, why are the, GBMs on top and the deep learnings below? Or, you kind of start to notice trends in the leaderboards and like which algorithms perform well. And then you can kind of look at, okay, here's the top 3 models are like XGBoost models. Like, let me go ahead and then look at the hyperparameter settings and what's different about these versus that. And then you could even have more context that you might not even think to address. Like, for example, prediction speed is something that if you're using machine learning in the enterprise, it's something that you might care about. So it's not stuff that like, new data scientists always think about. So if you have this leaderboard and you have models ranked by model performance, and then you also have a column with, prediction speed, and then you start to look at things, you can see, like what have I learned about like very deep trees? Oh, they're slow to predict. So like, let me, keep that in mind when I'm building things. So like there's little sort of nuggets that sort of automatically bubble up to the surface that I think you can learn from. And then, you don't have to be an expert on every single algorithm, because you might be very good at like, let's say, just XGBoost, but you don't know how to do anything else. Like there's a lot of people like that out there. If you're going to pick one tool, like it's not a bad choice. So, it takes a long time to become an expert at a single algorithm. So then with the AutoML process, you get all the algorithms basically, and you don't have to know, like if you don't know anything about deep learning, that's okay, because we've already thought about like what would make sense to do there and sort of generated what we think is useful. And then it can, also just be used as a baseline. You could just start there and like see what you could do on your own to kind of outperform the AutoML.